Okay, good evening guys. Today we'll be learning how to construct the multiplier for macroeconomic analysis, and this will be very crucial whenever we are attempting the long questions in the Intro to Econs exam. Okay, so let's just go through the basics first. Okay, basically we know that aggregate expenditure, okay, and at equilibrium also equals to income, is composed of household consumption plus investment plus government spending plus your exports minus your imports. Okay, so this is the very basics of it. Okay, and let's go through one by one. For household consumption, you have C0. Okay, C0 is basically your autonomous consumption, so it's how much you'll be consuming even if you're earning zero income. Okay, plus C1. Alright, now what is C1? C1 is actually the marginal propensity to consume. Basically, it just means how sensitive people are to, an increase or decrease in income, and how it will affect their spending. And this figure is usually is always less than 1. Okay, and if let's say the MPC, okay, is maybe 0.4. okay, the remainder of that, okay, the 0.6 is basically your MPS, which is your marginal propensity to save. Okay, so since we know this is how sensitive people are to disposable income, so now we compute our disposable income. Well, let's imagine that there is a lump sum tax. Okay, so what's going to happen is okay, the total income that people earn, Y, you got to minus off that tax. Okay, this gives you your disposable income. Okay, well, what if it's a proportional income, which means that the government is going to tax a certain proportion of your income. Okay, so there's a percentage to it. So what it will look like is this: C1, okay, bracket 1 minus the small letter t multiplied by Y. If you don't understand this, just look at this. Okay, this is my total income minus YT. This is the amount of the total amount of tax I got to pay. I mean, since T is a percentage, so if you simplify this, it's gonna look like this. Okay, so I suggest that you leave your answer like this so that it will be easier for you to compute your multiplier. Okay, so another thing to take note is that in an economy mostly there's inequality, and you're gonna have the rich people and the not so rich people. Okay, basically the poor people's marginal propensity to consume, okay, is gonna be greater than the rich people's ones. Alright, because when they are considered to not be earning so much, okay, they will find that they will have to spend more of the income to meet their basic necessities, okay, and their needs. Alright, so these are the basics for the consumption equation. And now let's go to investment. Okay, investment, I'll just use blue. Alright, I hope you can see. Alright, so I equals to I0, and I0 similarly to C0 is autonomous investment, investment that is not affected by income. Sometimes we have to invest even if you're not earning any income, on credit or whatever. We have to invest in something. Okay, and then we minus I1 multiplied by interest rates. Now this is the sensitivity to investments, okay, at any given level of interest. And the reason why there's a minus sign over here is because there is an inverse relationship, okay, between the demand for investment, okay, and the interest rates. Alright, basically it's a downward sloping slope. So when there's a high interest, okay, people won't want to invest so much because the opportunity cost of putting their money into investment is pretty high. They rather put it in the bank to earn interest. And when it's low, okay, it goes the other way around. Okay, I can earn more money by putting my money into the stock markets or whatever investment. Okay, so this is your investment. Okay, seems like we are running out of space, but there's no problem. Okay, we're using recycled paper, so don't worry. Alright, okay, here we go. Now let's talk about government spending. Okay, G, okay, same thing, we have got G0. okay, which is autonomous government expenditure. Okay, and usually we will stop at this point, but if let's say the question says that the government adjusts their spending in accordance to the income of the country, you have to add this G1Y. Well, this is the government's marginal propensity to consume. Alright, and if this is a positive number, basically means that when the economy is doing well, the government will spend more, and if it's a negative number, yeah, it goes the other way around. So the better the economy is, the lesser they are going to spend. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the open economy part. Okay, now we have got XO. Okay, exports. Alright, so basically same thing is autonomous exports, but you have to multiply this by the real exchange rate. Okay, so it's E0 multiplied by the international prices divided by your domestic prices. Okay, this is just the real version of exchange rate. It's just like real income. Real income is wages divided by prices, right? So this is the same thing. As for imports, right? Okay, same thing. It's gonna be MO. Okay, M naught multiplied by E naught, P star naught divided by P naught. Okay, and you gotta add one portion of that, okay, which is the M1, okay, which is the marginal propensity to import, okay, and multiplied by income. If let's say the question is going to talk about inequality in the economy, usually the marginal propensity to import for the poor will be lesser than the marginal propensity to import by the rich. Okay. Okay, so now we have got all this information. Let's put them together so that we can find the final AE equation. Okay, so as you can see, the AE equation is not as simple as just C plus I plus G plus, yeah, so okay, let's do this step by step. Okay, 7 minutes of the video, I want to make this a quick one. Okay, so what we have, we got AE, alright, and at equilibrium equals to Y equals to, alright, we'll add everything up, CO plus, okay, assuming that it's a proportionate tax and there's no income inequality, 1 minus T, Y, okay, so we've got our consumption part sorted out, plus now we got our income, IO minus I1, okay, interest rates, plus GO, assuming that there's no balanced budget or whatsoever. Oh yeah, forgot to talk about balanced budget, man. Alright, for a balanced budget basically means that the government spending, okay, is going to rely on the amount of taxes that's collected. So it can be either the lump sum tax or the total amount of tax collected, in terms of the income, since it's a percentage. Alright, so sorry about that. Let's get back to this. Okay, so yes, there's no balanced budget policy. Okay, then we're gonna have to add our exports. So we know that it's XO, X naught, and real exchange rate. Okay, then minus imports. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of space. Please bear with me, I'm so sorry about this. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we can forget about this guy. Alright, now we're gonna isolate Y on the left side of this equation. So what we're gonna do is Y equals to, we bring this to the other side. Oh, sorry, Y minus, okay, C1, 1 minus TY. Okay, what else has got income? Oh, there it is. This multiplied inside this will give you a minus sign, so you bring that across, it will give you a plus sign. M1Y equals to the rest of the world. Now the rest of this world, okay, you can actually just summarize it into A, which stands for autonomous expenditure. Yeah, because they don't depend on income, so you can call it A. And to suit Amos' standard, we have to be very specific. So we gotta put this into the equation to show, okay, that this is a function of the real exchange rate and interest rate. Okay, this is very important. Okay, I'm almost gonna be done. It's 10 minutes. Okay, so what we do is we factorize Y out of this equation. 1 minus C1, 1 minus T plus M1 equals to A E naught P star naught PO and R naught. Okay, I keep saying O, man, naught. Okay, Then we bring this, okay, to the other side to be divided. So you will get your this thing again. Okay, now we want to present this answer in a way, okay, the multiplier in a way that you will, okay, you will take out the negative sign, you will factorize the negative sign, okay, so that you will get this, you will get a bracket. I suggest you write the bracket like this because you will not confuse it with a C. Okay, 1 minus t, and this minus has been taken out, so it becomes a minus m1. Okay, and you have your 1 on top here, and you have your a that side. So this is your multiplier over here. Alright, this thing over here. Okay, now I will come to the reason why we actually formulate the multiplier like this. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna be lazy a bit. Just look at this part. Okay, see ya. So now we get 1 over 1 minus m. Okay, if m is gonna increase, this whole thing is gonna increase. If m is gonna decrease, this whole thing is gonna decrease. Okay, so whatever happens to your multiplier is gonna affect the slope of your AE curve. Okay, now just let me show you how to identify whether a certain factor is gonna affect. Okay, how is it gonna affect your multiplier? Okay, so now we've got this multiplier. Okay, just let me copy that down so that I don't forget. Okay, C1 1 minus t minus m1. Alright, this is your multiplier. Alright, okay, now let's assume, right, there's been an increase in the tax rate. Alright, increase in this. Okay, so how we find out what's going to happen to the multiplier is we differentiate the multiplier in terms of t. Okay, so we are going to get negative c1. You should know why, right? Okay, because let's expand this guy up. So it's going to be c1 minus c1t minus m1. You differentiate this, you get minus c1. So you can see that this is a negative sign over here. So which means that when there is an increase or decrease in taxes, you're gonna get a reverse, okay, effect on your multiplier. So now assuming that taxes has increased, which means that your multiplier has decreased, and vice versa. If your taxes decrease, then your multiplier will increase. Okay, alright, 12 minutes in the video. I'm gonna end soon. Alright, this does not affect your IS curve directly. Okay, it does not affect your IS curve directly in a way that it shifts out. Okay, so just because your multiplier changed, okay, your IS curve isn't just gonna rotate outwards. You know, a lot of people have the misconception that it will just become steeper or flatter. Okay, so when the multiplier has decreased, okay, basically what it means is that the IS curve is gonna be steeper. Okay, and if it increases, okay, your IS curve will be flatter. Okay, here's why. Because if you draw your ISLM model, oh my goodness, I'm rushing. Okay, if you draw your ISLM model, okay, if the multiplier is bigger, there should be a positive increase in the outcome of the economy. So if you become flatter, you will realize that you are at a higher income. So that's why when the multiplier becomes bigger, your IS curve becomes flatter. Okay, if it decreases, alright, then it will become steeper, and you will realize that you end up at a lower income. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. Actually, I've got more to show you. We'll have part 2, right? Okay, I'll be right back.